Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. Well, here we go again. High Intergrity 3. No wait, 4. Definitely 4. High Intergrity 4. Here we go. So for anyone unfamiliar with the series, here's a quick little recap. One of the most common questions in the comments is, high integrity? Do you mean high integrity? Nope, I don't. But whoever printed the sticker on the original $30 pink strat project from China probably definitely did. So took that, threw over 600 bucks worth of stupidly high-end upgrades into it, hipshot hardware, Fisher Influence singles, all the good stuff. Got told by the internet how much of a f***ing moron I was for doing that. So I did it again, this time with the Hello Kitty Squire I found on Craigslist. Threw an Evertune into that. That time got told by the internet that that was a f***ing waste of an Evertune. I 100% disagree. Then we did something a little more sensible, took one of the worst ever modern Gibsons and made it classy. The guitar that maybe they should have released instead. Links to all those in the cards. But according to the views, you guys did not like the last one. Fine, I've heard you. So without further ado, here is the absolute disaster that we're gonna throw an obnoxious amount of high-end parts at. So you may recognize this from last year, custom Hello Kitty 7-string build from AliExpress. Because, shut up, no more questions. Alright, so when I got this thing in, there were a lot of problems. I mean, bright pink AliExpress build with a big-ass Hello Kitty on the front. Did you really expect anything else? Hopefully not, because this is not a good guitar. In any way. There's the obvious stuff, the tuners are trash, the pickup, garbage. The strings, I don't even count that normally, but these were unusually bad. The pickguard, which was supposed to be one of the saving graces of this guitar, yeah, not so much. It's hand-painted and just super sloppy up close. Doesn't hold up under any close scrutiny. Luckily, that's saved kind of by 2 custom visual appointments. The High Integrity logo on the headstock and the engraved Mola Mola on the neck plate. The logo is too small and the engraving is too shallow, but whatever, it's still cool. What's not cool is the nut. I don't really know what else to say about it, really. Job number 1 of the nut should be to keep the strings in place, and on the fingerboard, doesn't even do that. And then the bridge was installed in the wrong place. It's too far forward, so it's straight up impossible to intonate. Not that it really matters all that much because the fretwork is garbage, high fret city. Yeah, so it's kind of just a total disaster. So it was a complete waste of money, but I will admit, it is fun. There's potential, and I figure getting this thing playable is the most logical way to blow this stimulus check. Rent and food be damned. I'm kidding, I'll be fine. I hope. Actually, no, I joke. I definitely will be, and Pringle will definitely have food, thanks to today's sponsor, NordVPN. Now, you've almost definitely heard of VPNs before, if not specifically Nord, so I'll try to keep this as short and to the point as possible, even though I tend to ramble. Basically, if you care about privacy and security on the internet, you want a VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network. Even if you're at home, but especially if you're using an unsecured network, airport, coffee shop, or random neighbor's Wi-Fi. If certain people are inclined, they can actually see everything you're doing unless you're using a VPN, which encrypts your connection and hides your IP by making it look like you're somewhere else in the world. And the cool thing about that last point, especially for my international friends, is that it unlocks region-blocked content. It even works in China, too. So if I'm ever back there, I can take my 2 mobile editing drives, Winnie the Pooh and Peppa Pig, and upload from there, which is really impressive. And there are a lot of VPNs to choose from, but Nord is one of the most reputable in the business, and it's the one I actually use myself. They've also got a global partnership with my club, Liverpool, so thanks NordVPN for paying Virgil van Dijk's wages. I really appreciate that on a personal level. So to protect yourself, stream whatever you want, whenever you want. NordVPN.org/Agufish gets you 70% off a 3-year plan. You can enter the code Agufish for an additional month free. It's like $3.49 a month. Totally worth it for your security. That's NordVPN.org/Agufish, code Agufish. Link in the description. Click it. Secure your data. Feed Springle. Ray Pringle. I know that was a low move, but I mean, it's a win-win. Alright, then now let's get back into modding this guitar. So basically nothing besides the body is usable. Luckily, the neck isn't twisted like it is on the Wish.com strat. That's honestly why that project is taking so long. Finding a neck sponsor, I really don't want to drop a significant amount of money into that piece of shit because I kind of really hate it, but that's another project for another day. But yeah, step 1 is to gut this thing and figure out what we're actually working with. Hopefully there aren't any nasty surprises hiding under there. There shouldn't be, but with AliExpress builds, you kind of never really know. But yeah, let's get to it. It's so gross. Alright, I just have to say, look at the state of this nut. What on earth were they thinking? That is so bad. Yeet. Not exactly the cleanest screws I've ever seen in my life. It's so clean. Oh, wow. What the fuck? Love that straight cut on the pick guard as well. Multiple screw holes for the bridge. Love to see it. Okay, so it's bad, but not that bad. Like, nothing that's project ending. In hindsight, I guess the argument for this is more wood, more tone. That's how that works, right? Beautiful. There's still potential. I still believe. Believe in the high integrity. I know you probably can't tell from the video, but this is some of the cheapest, lightest hardware I have ever seen. It's just horrific quality. Alright, so all this stuff is going straight in the bin. It's just not good stuff for anyone. For now though, here's what I'm actually keeping. Obviously the main attraction, even though that's not great, is this plastic back cover, because I'm not gonna cut my own. Probably use like aluminum foil or something to shield it at least. I haven't decided if I'm gonna use this yet, but I'm keeping it just in case. Springs, you always need extra of those. Incredibly cheap jack plate, because I forgot to order anything else, and all the screws for the pick guard and back cover. Alright, so here it is. Here is the base for this incredibly well thought out mod project. Now, overall, not bad. Some of the routing is a bit interesting. I don't think it's unfair to say that I've seen better. But yeah, now with it all stripped down, let's talk about what's gonna go in this thing. For tuners, I know I'm gonna get some crap for this in the comments because it's the third time on a pink strat that I'm going with hip shot, but hear me out on this one. Here's my reasoning. I just really like them. They are pretty expensive, but the turning resistance is perfect. The build quality is super solid, and they just look better than anything else out there right now, in my opinion. So I reached out to them and was like, hey, I'm doing something stupid again. And they're like, great, we love stupid. So I appreciate them sending this set out. Unfortunately, for 7 strings, they don't offer the, I forgot what they call it, but the standard upgrade kit that comes with those little plates. Basically, what it does is line the machines up perfectly, keeps them in place so you don't have to drill new screw holes in the headstock. So it looks super clean, helps preserve the resale value. But for this one, looks like we're going old school without the plates. The nut is also a familiar face on this channel, if that line at all makes sense. No surprises here, I've gone straight to the nut masters for this one. It's actually kind of surprising now when I come across an inexpensive guitar that doesn't have Graphtec, because their self-lubricating nuts, lol throwback, are fantastic. The quality is consistent, and they're really not that expensive either for how beneficial they are. A pre-slotted tusk nut runs you about 11 bucks at retail, worth every dollar and more. So they sent out a 7-string Strat Tusk Excel nut in black for extra metal points, which is really cool of them. Thankfully, it seems like even though the original nut was seemingly cut with a chainsaw, the actual size of the nut slot on the guitar is standard spec, so this should work out. But new for this series, and in fact for this channel, for the first time, I'm going with Seymour Duncan for electronics. With this build, I'm going for an absolutely nonsensical metal machine, and the Seymour Duncan Black Winter is one of the most metal pickups on the planet. So of course it needs to go into a 7-string Hello Kitty guitar. I especially love the medieval front, it's just so fucking metal. Now this particular Black Winter is kind of unique. It comes with white bobbins and a black logo instead of the other way around. I believe this is part of their shop floor custom options. Basically, through your Seymour Duncan dealer, you can order their standard range pickups with low-level custom options where applicable, like different bobbin colors, 4-conductor or single-conductor lead wires, magnet staggerings. The options vary from pickup to pickup, and I was told that while pink is available for other models, it is unfortunately not an option for the Black Winter, at least not at this time. Apparently, it's not a very popular request. So I went with white because I thought that fit with the overall aesthetic, and it's gonna look real fucking badass in there. I mean, as badass as it could possibly be in the middle of a giant hand-painted Hello Kitty pickguard, at any rate. The question, though, is does this pickup fit Hi Pringle? Or am I gonna have to route this pickguard? Moment of truth? Oh yeah. Alright, all the parts covered, it's time to get started. I like starting with the tuners first. I'm not really sure why. I'm not feeling any particular need to switch it up for this project, so let's get the Hipshot open gears on here. Okay, so slight snag in the plan. There were 7 tuners in the box from Hipshot, but only 6 sets of washers and screws. Now luckily I haven't thrown away the hardware from the crappy tuners yet, and most of these tuning machines seem to have the same thread size, so with any luck, this should work. Holy shit, it actually did. Just no one looked too close at it. Now, usually you'd measure then drill holes for the screws before you install any tuners. But 1, I don't have a drill, and 2, I mean, I don't really care that much about screwing up this guitar. I'm just gonna line them up about right and then use the screwdriver. Hey, if it works, it works. They're installed. They're pretty straight for the most part. Now, I will admit I did cheat slightly. You can see the headstock is really shiny. The lacquer is so thick. When I was just trying to use brute force with the little screws, it was just stripping the tops. So off camera, I ended up marking the screw locations on the headstock, then making a hole with a heavy duty screw of the same thread size. You can see there the screws are different because again, I only had 6. The one on the right is using a Hipshot screw. The one on the left is using a crappy screw. Oh well. With those done, it's time to move on to the next thing. And I'm most excited about electronics, so I'm going to do that next. Alright, now I'm on the Seymour Duncan website. I always use them for wiring diagrams. They're clear, they're easy to follow, and just like that, we have our wiring diagram. Alright, I ordered a bunch of parts off WD Music for mods, but for this project, I just need the output jack and the push-pull pot. Alright, so clearly I should have gotten more sleep last night. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Can someone tell me why I wired all this up without running this into the control cavity first? Fuck. The last thing I need to do is shield this control cavity cover. This is one of the worst cut cavity covers I've ever seen in my life. It's so bad the camera doesn't even want to focus on it. Kind of suits the theme of the guitar, really, but I am going to shield it. I don't have any copper or anything like that, so I'm just going to use aluminum foil. To be fair, it's all this cover deserves. Not gonna lie, could be cleaner, but again, it kind of suits this guitar. Plus, I'm too lazy to redo it. Okay, moving on. Ooh, look what just came back. Let's unbox this thing. And it's back in all its full glory. So I had this sent off to the tech, social distancing and all that. So the frets are much nicer, much more polished. Am I imagining this, or are the fingerboard edges a little more rounded? It does look like the fingerboard lacquer started chipping though. Sign of a quality guitar. Yeah, the frets were definitely starting to pop out before. Now they're rounded and flush with the fingerboard. Oh yeah, the nut was installed. I don't know if we filmed that. God, this guitar is such a piece of shit. But actually, no, it's not a piece of shit anymore because now it has an Evertune. So I told Evertune that I was having problems with the bridge and the intonation. And they were like, well, you know what bridge solves intonation issues? This one. And it turns out you can actually mix and match colors for the bridge and the saddles. So I went with a black bridge and gold saddles. The idea was to match it with the color combination of the tuners. And this gold is a little lighter, a little shinier, but it still looks so sick. There's the full shot. Is this or is this not the most metal thing you've ever seen in your life? This is so stupid. I love it so much. Just a couple of finishing touches right now to fully high integrify this thing. One, I've got to do something about the exposed volume knob here. And two, I don't know what that discoloration is, but I gotta do something about the strap buttons. So here's what I'm thinking. So I had a spare Hipshot O-ring in a drawer from the first high integrity project. They sent me 4, but of course the Strat, I only needed 3. This has just been sitting around, so I figured using it as like a good callback to the origins of the series. And then some nice Grover strap locks. Now, I will admit, I forgot that I was putting black hardware on this, so I ordered nickel by accident. So at some point, I'll probably end up replacing this as black, but for now, this will work. All right, final stretch. Let's finish this thing. Oh, this is so ridiculous. Look at this thing. All right, the build is done. All that's left now is to compare the upgraded high integrity version to the stock shitty AliExpress version. First, we'll compare them in a full mix, then isolated tracks, and of course it also plays way different than when I first got it, so I'll also talk about that after all the sound clips. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so just like with all guitars, the difference in a mix is less noticeable than it is in real life. That's a weird way of putting it, by which I mean in the room outside of a mix. Obviously, it's easier to hear with less stuff going on and without audio frequencies bumping into each other. But even so, there's a huge difference even in the mix. This guitar has come a long way. The thing that I noticed about the Black Winter is that it's a lot fuller, more mid-scooped, a lot more output too. The stock pickup was basically a fridge magnet in an enclosure, very weak. But to its credit, a lot of mid-focus after an excessive amount of additional gain and the precision drive on max tightness. I was able to get something useful out of it in the mix. By itself though, the Black Winter is much more satisfying. Endless, mindless chugs for days. For this track, actually, I'm making the Black Winter version MP3 in the tab available on Patreon for free. Anybody can access it, link in the description. Okay, final thoughts. Was this project worth it? On the surface, yeah, I mean, it's a 7-string metal as Hello Kitty guitar, but let's tally it all up. The original AliExpress order, $300 shipped, Hipshot open gear locking tuners for the 7 of them. It's $15 each, which comes to $105. Seymour Duncan Black Winter, from what I understand, even though it's a floor shop custom, there's no upcharge for different colored bobbins, which is really cool and something to keep in mind if you're customizing a guitar in the future. Anyways, point is, 99 bucks, same as a normal stock Black Winter. The push-pull CTS pod I bought with a whole bunch of other stuff, so I forgot the exact cost, but I think it was about $5. Graphtec 7-string Tusk Knot, $13.65. Let's just call it $14 for simplicity's sake. Hipshot O-ring, about $9. Then the Evertune. I love the Evertune. It's totally worth every dollar, but it's not cheap. It's $355 for just the bridge, another $25 for the custom color combination. And for the tally, I'm just counting the retail component cost. Usually the installation would cost an additional $300. So if you want to get the best deal on an Evertune equipped guitar, you should definitely check out their web store. They have a whole bunch of stuff in stock with the bridge pre-installed. But yeah, this guitar, when all said and done, it cost roughly $912 because my math is always awesome. And for the specs, I guess that actually doesn't seem too bad. But let me be clear before you run off to AliExpress, don't do this. It took dumping 200% of the original value in parts to make it a proper guitar. And even then, it's not the greatest. It's definitely fun, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely a quirk. So my 72 Les Paul Custom is the best sounding guitar that I own, but the Squier Hello Kitty is actually my main writing guitar for 6 strings, and that's literally down to the Evertune. Perfect tune, perfect intonation, every time I pick it up, the reliability, it's amazing. But this will not be my main writing guitar for 7 strings for the same reason, kind of, that the Gibson has been relegated to the bench. I've had this guitar back for a couple of weeks now, and it's gotten considerably warmer in Georgia since then, and wow, the neck is wildly unstable. It's moved so much. The neck's gone about half a centimeter up since it's been back. It's actually borderline hilarious how much the neck is curved, and yet the Evertune is so stubborn. It's really a testament to how well this bridge works. It just straight up will not allow this guitar to go out of tune, even though it is now infinitely harder to play. Like, the bridge works so well in this project specifically. Like, check this out. It was impossible to intonate and keep in tune before, but now pitch drift is generally something I struggle with on 7 strings, not at all with this. But yeah, in contrast to this very mobile neck, the Schecter Banshee Mach 7, which also has an Evertune, will be my main 7-string writing guitar. That 7-piece roasted maple Purple Heart neck has not moved at all. So yeah, that'll wrap up this latest High Intergrity project. All that's left now is to slap the High Intergrity badge on here. And it is now complete. $300 7-string Hello Kitty knockoff, $600 worth of upgrades. No one in their right mind would do this, and realistically, no one should either. Don't buy AliExpress guitars, they're bad. Not the components in this one. Hipshot, Graphtec, Seymour Duncan, and Evertune is kind of a major win combo, but do yourself a favor, put them in a better guitar. So if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. Most of my content isn't like this, but I'm trying to do more, so make sure you're subscribed and you've got the bell ticked for all notifications, that way you don't miss any uploads. Thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring this ridiculous video. You get world-class protection, keeps the channel alive, high integrity merch is also available. Every shirt comes with a sticker. As always, thanks so much for watching, you've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.